A new bill in Utah may force smokers to pay extra. And what do you think about Twitter censoring accounts?
KOMU8's Lindsay Cooper has that story from the social media desk. Lindsay?
That's right, Sarah. The lawmakers in support of this are saying if smokers can pay $7 for a pack of cigarettes, they can pay $2 or $3 additional for the copay. Now, the American Lung Association is against this. They say that these smokers, it won't prompt them to quit and it won't do any good for them. Now, let's look at what a few of you are saying on Facebook here. Christina says, if people with private insurance have to pay more being smokers, then Medicaid people should too, or they should quit like my husband and I did 4 months ago. Congrats on quitting, Christina. And then Michael says, I disagree. If they're smoking 60% more, then the added taxes they're paying should take care of the cost. And then Travis had a good point here. He says if they provided Medicaid smokers with help to quit smoking, well, it would solve the whole problem. So if you want to join in on this conversation, just go to KOMU.com/Facebook, or you can mention us on Twitter at KOMU News, #YouOnTV. Sarah?
Today, a new policy on Twitter. Twitter is implementing that new policy, saying that it will censor tweets in certain countries. People are talking about that.
Yeah, we're actually having a really interesting debate going on Facebook about that right now, with most people saying that any type of restriction on their freedom of speech is a problem and a step in the wrong direction. So if we look at a few of your comments here, Sean says, I like it. Social media is becoming a sort of checks and balances for governments by the people. It lets the world know what is actually happening at a given time and not just what governments want us to know. But then Chuck said, Sean, it's a step backwards for those that reside in those countries that want Twitter censored. And Sean responds, well, I'm definitely against restricting free speech rights. The good I'm talking about is if a country did not previously have Twitter access, but will gain it. So that's pretty interesting. And again, they will only censor tweets in that country. The rest of the world will be able to view them, and they will let users know when they're censoring those tweets and why they're doing that.
All right, sounds great. Speaking of Twitter,
Sarah, Dave, this is the youngest 90-year-old I've ever seen. She is so spirited. She has tons of other dance videos on here that her grandson films for her. This one has over 1 million views, so let's take a look. Look at her getting it. That is just too good. And if you get a chance to go back and watch this at some point, you should search for 93-second interview with Grandma, where she says she never had to diet because she just danced the fat right off. Sarah?